spent €100,000 in deporting 32 Georgians. So the government are feeding into that agenda. Of all the stupid things that McGregor has said, one of the most stupid is that there's an attack on Irish culture. That's nonsense. The Irish language has never been stronger. Horse Dor Fantastic and Tom Golair. And I would say also our Irish literature, our books, our language and our enjoyment in bars continues as before. Yes. But it's absolutely ridiculous to say that the culture is under attack. If he wants to focus on that, there's a rich tradition in Ireland of fighting against oppression. The Irish have a very strong reputation for courage, for tenacity, for honesty and for openness. And when we saw Micheál Martin in the White House on March the 12th, he showed none of these qualities. He bowed the knee. He praised Trump as a man of peace. Trump, who was feeding the Israeli Defense Forces with massive amounts of weapons to continue on with the genocide. So that aspect of Irish culture is being destroyed by the likes of Micheál Martin. And the government is helping to raise funds for the Israeli war because they were asked to do so by the Israeli Development Corporation. That is completely against the traditions and against Irish culture. So when McGregor talks about Irish culture, forget about the nonsense he talks and let us focus on the threat to Irish culture by these schleeveens and apologetic people such as Martin that can't stand up for us. He knew when he was talking to Trump that there's going to be unemployment in this country because of Trump's tariffs. He said nothing. He knew also that McGregor was going to be invited on Patrick's Day and he was given the 12th. He said nothing. So the right-wing forces are exploiting these issues in Irish society. Anybody who thinks that the housing problems are due to the asylum seekers and refugees understands nothing. And I would say to the people who support these organisations to think, to stop, to think, to understand, give up all the shouting and the insulting and rude signs and just sit down and use your reason and think. Is it reasonable to say that the reason we have to wait for years for our kids or for us to get a visit to a consultant, is that because of asylum seekers? Is the higher rents and the shortage of housing because of asylum seekers? It's rubbish, and it's important for people who run these marches to think, just to reason. Forget about the abuse, forget about the shouting, to sit down and think about the issues and dismiss the likes of McGregor, who has only one ambition, is to advance his own career in the same way as his pal Trump is advancing his agenda in America. So in conclusion, let me say, our strength is in our unity. There's a huge number of organisations here today, and that's a tribute to the work of UAG and those who supported and organised the march. Our strength lies in our unity. We must not allow ourselves to be divided. All the colonial powers have divided peoples along racist, religious, ethnic and tribal grounds. The recent conflict in India, Pakistan is the direct result of British imperialism in that country. The conflicts in Africa similarly. And of course in Ireland, the divisions between Protestant and Catholic have been fomented by imperialism. We have to unite against that. And when I saw Coolock says no, marching in a loyalist parade in Belfast, that says it all. So our agenda is unity. We must defeat not just the right wing on the streets, but we have to defeat the ideas on which that support that they can gather is based. Good luck.